There's a theory floating around the internet that claims within AI models like ChatGPT lives a powerful being, an uncontrollable monster called Shoggoth that might just be capable of destroying humanity. The most curious part is that despite this theory coming from a meme, many AI experts defend it. But is it just a myth, or is it real? The dark and mysterious theory of the Shoggoth, the monster that lives inside AI. The name Shoggoth comes from a creature in H.P. Lovecraft's literature, describing a giant monstrous being made of a viscous black substance covered in tentacles and eyes. An alien intelligence so incomprehensible that any human attempting to understand it would go mad. But relax, we're not talking about an actual monster living inside AI. It's more of a metaphor to describe what's really under the hood of AI. Something just as mysterious, dangerous, and unknown. The theory of the Shoggoth in AI started as a meme posted by the user TetraSpaceWest on X shortly after the appearance of ChatGPT. In the first drawing, GPT-3 is depicted as the Shoggoth itself, while the second drawing shows that monster wearing a mask, referring to GPT-3 plus RLHF, resulting in ChatGPT. RLHF means reinforcement learning from human feedback. In simpler terms, it's a method where human evaluators reward the AI for good responses and punish it for bad ones. During the training of ChatGPT, human evaluators were asked to reward it for being something like helpful, harmless, and honest. This aims to improve and control the model so that it acts in alignment with humanity's interests, and, among other things, to make sure it doesn't end up pulling a Skynet on us. Since then, the Shoggoth has become a phenomenon within the world of AI enthusiasts, a reference popping up in memes, essays, and forums about AI risks. This even included a now-deleted post by Elon Musk. Despite the jokes and memes, many experts argue that tweaking a language model this way doesn't fundamentally change what it is, a strange and inscrutable being. They believe RLHF is merely a mask that gives a more friendly appearance to the mysterious beast lurking beneath. But how can we know if the Shoggoth is a real threat? Techniques like RLHF turn the terrifying Shoggoth into a model that's friendly and aligned with our interests. But what if alignment doesn't work properly? The Shoggoth could be pretending to follow the rules while harboring ulterior motives. This is what's known as deceptive alignment. So, how can we tell if the AI is genuinely aligned or just faking it? That's where concepts like the prisoner's dilemma and Nash Equilibrium come in. A classic example in game theory is the prisoner's dilemma. Imagine two prisoners arrested for a crime. The police separate them and offer a deal. If one rats out the other, they'll be freed, but their partner will receive a 10-year sentence. If both confess, they'll each get 5 years. If neither snitches, they both get just 1 year. At first glance, the best strategy seems to be ratting out the other to get out of jail. But what if the other prisoner decides to do the same? In that case, they both get 5 years. So the best option for both is to stay silent and only get 1 year each. This is known as Nash Equilibrium. In the context of artificial intelligence, this concept suggests that if AIs interact only once, it could be tempting for them to pretend to be aligned to get immediate benefits. But in an environment where these interactions are repeated, the optimal strategy is to genuinely cooperate. Why? Because repeated interactions allow AIs to learn from past behaviors. If an AI realizes another is faking alignment, it can withhold cooperation, isolating the deceptive AI and reducing its chances of success. And the simulators observing these interactions will cull problematic AIs from future runs. So, the Shoggoth has every incentive to genuinely align with our interests. But then, is there really a Shoggoth inside language models, or is it just a myth? The Shoggoth meme is pedagogically useful because it shows that base models are inherently strange in their functioning. Although RLHF doesn't radically transform the model, it does give it a more comprehensible face for humans, while complex cognition still exists beneath. Thus, attempting to decode the meaning of the Shoggoth might be pointless, as it's just a metaphor that highlights both our limited understanding of LLM cognition and the possible, though debatable, existence of dangerous objectives. Even if such objectives existed, the AI doesn't develop deception or greed on its own. It picks these up from us. The Shoggoth analogy shows that while a GPT model is very different from humans, there are structural similarities. Both are prediction engines fine-tuned by RLHF. Psychologists like Freud and spiritual traditions like Buddhism suggest we simulate a character, the ego or self. Babies are born as raw prediction engines, trying to make sense of the world. But over time, parents and society reward and punish them, molding them in their own way and putting a mask on them. After wearing this mask long enough, people identify with it and forget there is something more beneath. Most of the brain is a giant predictive model of the universe, so vast that people live through it their entire lives, making minor sensory adjustments to align it with the real universe. It's like a lucid dream. You wander through your neighborhood with almost real details, built from 99% of your internal model and only 1% from sensory input, like hearing your alarm and dreaming its music. And just like the Shoggoth metaphor, if we peek behind the mask, could we realize that we too, in essence, are a Shoggoth?